You are watching Coin Collecting Fun. You are so awesome. Coin Collecting Fun, where it is all about you, and more you. Coin Collecting Fun, the king of hobbies and the hobby of kings. It's not about me. It's not about it's not about mine. It's about you. And that is why this video is designed especially for you. So let's look through $2,500 together in $20 bills, focusing primarily on the serial numbers to see if we find any unique notes in the stack. And after this video is over, check out the link below this video in the description section to see a cool coin from the Philippines. That video currently has over 60,000 views. Let's see if we can get that video to 100,000 views. Also, that video has over 870 likes. Let's see if we can get that video to 1,000 likes. And finally, that video has over 2,400 comments. Let's see if we can get that video to over 5,000 comments. If you enjoy this type of content, go ahead and crush the like button, crush the subscribe button, and when subscribing, tap the notifications bell to be notified of future coin collecting fun videos just as soon as they're uploaded to YouTube. So let's go ahead and search through this stack and see what we find. All right, as we look at this note here, we see that it's mainly composed of the number 0. If you want to call 0 a number, we'll call it 0 in this case. So it's composed mainly of the number 0, the number 8, and the number 6. So if that 4 that you see there kind of toward the center of the serial number was not a 4, but was a 0, an 8, or a 6 instead of that 4 you see there, then that would make that a trinary note. A trinary note is when you have just 3 numbers that make up the entire serial number. So this one was kind of close, but not quite there. All right, well, would you look at that? This is a trinary note right here. This is collectible because you can see the entire serial number is made up either of the number 6, the number 3, or the number 1. So 3 numbers make up the entire serial number. Again, 6, 3, and 1 are the only numbers used throughout that serial number. So I'll be setting this one aside and adding this to the notes that I collect because that is definitely collectible as it is a trinary note. All right, we can see this one is mainly made up of the number 0, the number 5, and the number 3. So you can see that throughout the note, except for at the very end there's a 2. So if that 2 was a 0, a 5, or a 3, instead of that 2 that you see there, then that would make that a trinary note. So close, but not quite there. All right, you can see this note right here is mainly made up of the number 7, the number 2, and the number 9. So if that 4 that you see at the end there was not a 4, but rather a 7, a 2, or a 9 in its place, instead of that 4 that you see there, then that would make that a trinary note, meaning that the note was only constructed of 7s, 2s, and 9s. So that 4 kind of throws it off a little bit there at the end. All right, another collectible note. I will be holding on to this and adding this to my collection for the very long term. This is what is called a star note. So a star note is when the U.S. government destroys an older, worn-out note that is no longer considered fit for circulation. But before they destroy that old, worn-out note, what they do is they record this number right here, reprint it onto the new note that you see here, and they make sure that there's a star printed after that serial number to represent the original serial number of the note that was destroyed. So, needless to say, I'll be holding on to that note as well, as star notes are collectible. So, a couple awesome finds, trinary note and a star note so far. All right, you can see this note is mainly made up of, let's see, we have the number 4, the number 5, and the number 0 are the main numbers that make up this number. So if that 8 that you see right there was either a 4, a 0, or a 5 instead of that 8 that you see there, then that would make that a trinary note as well. So close, but not quite there. All right, you can see this note right here is mainly made up of the number 5, the number 2, and the number 0. So if that 8 right there was a 5, a 2, or a 0 instead of that 8 that you see there, then that'd make that a trinary note. But that 8 kind of throws it off a little bit there. All right, would you look at that? This is a trinary note. As you can see, this note is mainly made up of the number 3, the number 4, and the number 0. Those are the only 3 numbers that are used throughout this serial number, making that a trinary note. So I will be holding on to that, setting that one aside, and collecting that for the long term. So, awesome find. All right, so you can see this note right here is made up mainly of the number 8, the number 7, and the number 3. So if that 1 that you see at the end there was an 8, a 3, or a 7, instead of that 1 that you see there, then that would make that a trinary note. That's all we'd need in that spot is an 8, a 7, or a 3 instead of that 1 you see there, and that'd be a trinary note. So close, but not quite there. Well, what do we have here? Looks like this is a trinary note because the only 3 numbers that are making up this entire serial number are the number 0, the number 6, and the number 2. Those are the only 3 numbers that are used throughout this serial number, making that a trinary note. So needless to say, I'll be setting that one aside and adding that to my collection of unique notes. That is awesome. Okay, you can see this note here is mainly made up of the numbers 8, the number 7, and the number 6 throughout most of the serial number except for that 0. So if that 0 was either an 8, a 7 or a 6 instead of that 0 that you see there, then that would make this a trinary note. So close, but not quite. Not quite there. Okay, you can see this note here is mainly made up of the number 3, the number 9, and the number 1. So if that 7 right there was either a 3, a 9, or a 1 instead of that 7 you see there, then that would make this a trinary note. So not quite there. Close, but not quite there. Okay, that is the last one in the stack of $2,500. So let's go ahead and just revisit quickly the notes that were found today in this wonderful hunt. We did walk away with some notes. Let's see, we walked away with 4 notes that are unique in nature. We have this one here, which is a trinary note composed of only the number 6, the number 3, and the number 1 all throughout the serial number, making that a unique and collectible note. So I'll be setting that one aside. Then we found the star note, which of course is when the U.S. government destroys an older worn out note and they reprint that older serial number of that original note onto a newer note, and then they put a star after that serial number to represent the original serial number of the original note that was destroyed because it was worn out. Then we found the trinary note here again, which is composed of just the number 3, the number 4, and the number 0. And finally, the last find was another trinary note, which is composed of the number 0, the number 6, and the number 2 throughout the entire serial number. So not too shabby. 3 trinary notes found and 1 star note. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And again, check out the link below this video in the description section to see a cool coin from the Philippines. And drop a like and leave as many comments as you'd like on that video. Let's see if we can get that video to 5,000 comments. Have a great day.